Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Fortune Game video. Today's video is dedicated to an arena guide. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Once we hit 5k, we'll do a giveaway. Alright, I'm pretty much just showing my lineup, all my characters and everything, and the things that I use. For the most part, we're just going to go ahead and show my arena strats. So, one of the first things that you're going to see here is I'm obviously running Sword Comp. Now, the thing is I do something interesting where I cast Chio in the beginning. And some of you are like, okay, we know what Chio does, but why do that? Why not just slam like Kasumi or Pan right from the get-go and off the opponent? Well, in higher ranks or in matches that I want to try, I usually drop a scouting unit. So that's Chio's purpose. She essentially buffs the units in my hand, and then I pretty much scout with my team. Now, some of you are wondering, well, you use Chio and then you use Miyuki. Well, sometimes I just drop, another board wiping unit. But what essentially I'm doing here is I see what the enemy has. Well, you can already see it technically once you click on the opponent, right? But my point is to use Chio to bait out two units, usually an attacker and a tank. That's usually the two units that most people run in Arena. And my whole purpose in doing that is so that I can cycle those two characters, and after those two characters cycle, I'll drop board wipes. By that I mean I'll drop units so that I can essentially open up the middle lane, so I can drop something like Kasumi or Pan to deal attacks. Now, I'll do like a variance in gameplay, but for the most part, that's what essentially I'm trying to do, is open up the middle section so I can get a clean kill at the end of the day. Now, some of you are like, well, wouldn't it just be easier to just drop, Kasumi right off the bat and get the kill? Well, the thing is as the opponents get harder and as you get stronger, that only works for so much time, where eventually Kasumi can't just straight up kill the leader. So I like dropping a buffing unit first. So it doesn't have to be Chio, and you don't have to use my exact lineup. You can even use different leaders, and I'll rotate my leader, as the gameplay flows. But for the most part, the point is to drop a buff scout unit. You can drop Mary, you can drop Penny, you can drop Chio, you can drop Alice, whoever it needs to be. So essentially, you can waste the first two enemies dropping on the board. Because you don't want to leave your leader like wide open to attacks, or you want to strategically play it so that your leader won't be, insta-dying. Now the thing is with Coffin Leader or Sork Leader, he's not that squishy, but you'll see once I change to Rogue Leader, it's much different. But for the most part, you can see here, like, this is the gameplay. Chio, board wipe, and then another board wipe, or I drop, like, either Pan or Kasumi after. It's pretty straightforward. Now, some people, you can just drop, like, a bunch of AoE right off the get-go. I don't like dropping a bunch of heavy hitters in the beginning of the fight, just because I like to do energy management where, I want to drop heavy cost units at the later end. The reason why I do that is because I have a stronger hand later on. If I drop everything right at the beginning, usually what happens is the opponents in the AI, they don't usually snowball. They go all out straight from the beginning, and what happens is it takes longer for them to cast units, right? So when you build up energy, you have to use high energy units, right? But if you use low cost units like Mary and Chio and like Penny in the beginning, Penny's a little bit expensive, but I'm just saying, if you use those units in the beginning, you have a faster energy rotation as you go through the fight, right? Like I can instantly cast Yuffie and then Miyuki, you can see right there. And that's what I'm essentially showing by using a buff scout in the beginning, so I can manipulate my energy so I can cast the units that I need to cast later on. I'm not really doing it for, like the early game. I'm going more for a mid game in Arena. Now, of course, you can just, just quickly challenge everything. You don't have to try an Arena whatsoever. This is just something that I wanted to share, in case you wanted to try an Arena a little bit further, in case you wanted to push. And of course, there's plenty of different strategies that you can implement. But one thing's for sure, I don't recommend using like the stall mechanic, because usually, the stall mechanic in Illusion Connect for Dream Arena, because you go first, it doesn't work out in your favor. Essentially, since you're going first, you have to be a little bit more aggressive, in my opinion, right? You can totally go more defensive, but I just don't recommend it, because what people end up doing is they drop a tank just like you in the beginning, and they'll drop massive AoE right after that. Now, you can see here, like, Rogue Leader is a lot squishier. it's a completely different playstyle, like from Sort Comp, because in Sort Comp you can just kind of like, you know, just slam AoE after AoE because my AoE damage is pretty much boosted. In Sort Comp, it's or Rogue Leader Comp, it's way different because when I try to slam units, I have to slam it in a way where I'm going straight for the leader, right? Because that's what Rogue is good at. He's good at like going for the leader kill. Sort Comp is good at pretty much maintaining a distance and slamming AoE. So you'll see here that I'm actually going to fail like quite a number of times on this specific like fight. And you'll see like this guy has like 190. I'm like way, like I'm nothing close to this. And I'm just going to keep all of my losses just so you guys see me struggle. You can sort of see how I change up my strategy and it's more authentic. I'm pretty sure you guys want to see like what my strategy is here. Pretty much like the way you bait out a Kasumi is you drop a Victoria on like the side lanes, right? So this is just so that the Kasumi doesn't go straight for the leader kill, because some Kasumis can straight up just one-shot leaders. And I would say the Rogue leader is probably not the best leader to have in your defense team. Just as my personal opinion, and I know I'm running Rogue leader, I need to update my defense team. And the only reason why you would technically update your defense team is so that, you know, people don't progress in ranks. That's the only reason why you care about defense, is so that you can maintain your rank easier, so that people can't get close to you, so that, you know, essentially when people get to like king or whichever rank that they get to, it's fairly difficult, right? So this is the whole point of having a really good defense, is so you can maintain your rank and so everyone's pretty much aligned, right? And of course you could technically like lower your points so you can like fight low point enemies, but I'm pretty sure there's like a thing against that. But I haven't personally tried it. I just keep high points for the sake of it. But you can see here, like I'm gonna struggle quite a bit with this one because I get really close and I'm kind of stubborn. So I'm like, oh man, I could just tweak it. And honestly, at the end of the day, some arena matches is just purely based off of luck. By that I mean like, can you get like a lucky crit? By like... Seriously, if you get a lucky crit, if you crit on Kasumi and Pan, then usually most enemy teams cannot survive that. And like sometimes that's all it takes to win arena matches too. It's not even perfect strategy. It's just literally luck of the draw. Can you get the right crits? Because you can control what cards you're going to get, but you can't technically control crits, right? But like that's what I wanted to say for arena for the most part. Like arena is not really like the end game content, I think. I'm pretty sure they're gonna add like some PvE stuff, like harder stages, maybe challenger stages, maybe like a tower format. This game is actually like I think almost a year old on Taiwan server, or at least in the CN servers. So you know there's a lot of potential for this game, and there's a bunch of characters. If you guys want me to review like some of the characters that they have in CN or TW, you know, feel free to ask. But for the most part, you can see right there, like, Pan is just like a beast. She just one-shots the leader, you know, 350k. And of course, she excels when she's with Rogue Leader, right? Because that's what Rogue Leader is good at. It's pretty much good at going straight for the kill. And you can see right here, like, my strategy is completely different from the Sork Leader comp. What I go for here is just, like, straight-up kills. And, like, I'm not even, like, trying to scout or anything. So sometimes your gameplay will vary based off of the leader you're using. Like, you don't have to do like the buff scout. You can pretty much do whatever you feel is comfortable. But for the most part, I don't recommend tanking, just because, like, you know, it doesn't really do much, because for the most part, unless the person's running like one unit, they're probably doing the same thing. I feel like most defenses in Illusion Connect are pretty stally, so they'll drop like, you know, a tank or two, and they'll drop AoE after, and they will, like, if they're good enough, they will out-tank you. You can see right here, like, my leader isn't the strongest. Like, he has like 401k HP, and then the Paladin leader has like 571. Granted, like, you know, the Paladin leader does have more HP thanks to all the buffs and leader skills it has, right? But for the most part, like, that's what I wanted to talk about too, is like, you can also rotate your leaders out if you want to have like a certain gameplay. And of course, not everyone has access to Sork leader, so that's why I changed up my leader. And of course, if you want, you can technically run a Paladin leader for defense, but defense is honestly a personal preference if you want to stopgap people from reaching higher ranks. And of course, if you ever see an Anna, like you're seeing here, you know, drop a Fenibeth and this team will like absolutely fall apart. Benebeth could be like at level 1. As soon as Anna drops a heal, they pretty much like die. So yeah, I mean, like, Arena is pretty fun for the most part. I wouldn't take it too seriously. And the only reason why you don't want to refresh in Arena is because you want that 10 streak in Arena. That 10 streak will grant you diamonds. Pretty much that's it for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. And I will see you in the next one.